What's going on, YouTube? This is BBSP Blue Bowl Sports Observer. Politics. Um, as you all know, I'm a couple days late on this, but Milwaukee Bucks went into Brooklyn Saturday night and upset the heavily favored Brooklyn Nets. Giannis, well, what can I say? He definitely came through. He came through with 44 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. And this was definitely a breakout game for him. Definitely a breakout game for him. You could tell early on that he was locked in and ready. He was definitely locked in and ready for this particular game, and all he needed was some help. All he needed was a little help. You understand what I mean? Thing was, the Bucks tried desperately to fumble this game away. What can I say? They tried desperately. The first 3 quarters, it didn't look good for the Bucks because they took, everything they were doing the entire series, from bad basketball plays to bad passes to taking 3-point shots when they could easily be going to the basket and getting anything they wanted. I was kind of torn on this series, man, because with the way the Milwaukee was playing and the way their coach was calling things, the way the coach was going back and forth, I was leaning towards Brooklyn winning this series. All because of Coach Budenholzer's has a low IQ, but once the fourth quarter came, at that point, Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday didn't show up, and Brook Lopez out here doing dumb shit, right? But as soon as I knew, when Brooklyn hardly played their bench, the starters played almost all the 40 minutes, and I knew at some point Brooklyn was going to get exhausted. The Nets were going to get tired out, and the Nets were going to have no energy left to finish the game off. When you think about that, that was the turning point of the game. When Steve Nash, who in this situation finally showed he was a lame duck coach with very little to no experience, especially in this situation. This is the series where it could have went either way, but as we all know, the final 2 minutes, both Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday finally stepped up, and then Giannis was continuing to dominate on both ends. Game winner overtime, of course. James Harden. I don't know. He's still hurt. James Harden is still not right. I'm wondering did the organization itself, did the Brooklyn Nets itself pressure him to go out there when it was pretty obvious he wasn't ready to come back. I've had hamstring injuries, slight hamstring injuries, and even that, it took like almost a month to get over. Because hamstrings, that's like a hamstring is a muscle, right? It's a muscle inside more of your thigh, which connects your must be, even the slightest turn, the slightest, you're gonna feel it. And I still believe James Harden is ready to come back. James Harden wasn't ready to come back at all, and I think it kind of cost the Nets when you really think about it, because when you actually look at it, James Harden hurt the Nets. He hurt the Nets. they might have been better. Might have been better off. Might have been better if it had to just let James Harden come back. But when you're pegged as the favorite, pegged to be the next big thing, and you're pegged when it's championship from desperate. And I'm wondering, did people in the Brooklyn Nets get desperate, including Kevin Durant himself? You know, because people want legacies on the line, you know what I mean? People want legacies on the line, you know? They want to put themselves out there in that conversation. You know, some people get desperate, some people take a situation for what it is, but I think this whole thing sounded pretty desperate. But end of the game, Milwaukee, the Bucks tried their hardest to fumble this shit away. You know, all they had to do in the final seconds was inbound the ball, but you got Brook Lopez with his low-ass basketball IQ throwing it outside and then holding the ball. And all he had to do was find Giannis cutting to the basket, because when you see that play, Giannis was cutting to the basket with ease. That could have been easy and one. Not even a shot clock. An easy and one. You understand what I mean? So, you know, when you didn't get into overtime, Kevin Durant hit a tough shot over PJ Tucker, a guy who was giving the business the entire series. And at first, I thought that shit was a three. And that would have been perfectly fitting for Milwaukee Bucks to lose that series in that way. But as it turns out, he had his foot on the line. And I'm going to be honest. Man. I'm going to be honest. That right there saved the Milwaukee Bucks season. If Kevin Durant had any type of awareness and said, let me get behind the line and shoot this, and let me get behind the line and shoot this series would have been over. We'd be having a different conversation today would be different if Kevin Durant had any awareness to be behind the line and shoot it. But I guess within the heat of the moment, he thought he had it. He thought he was behind the line, but as it turns out, matter of fact, I thought the game was over. When you look at it, it was by an inch. By an inch, he made that shot. By an inch, he was over the free throw, over the 3-point, or under the 3-point line. If, like I said before, if he had the awareness to shoot it from behind the 3-point line, or he has slightly smaller feet, we're having a different conversation today. But as we all know, overtime comes. Chris Middleton, out of all people, hits the biggest shot to put Milwaukee over the top, and they clinched the victory. You know, and I want to say this too. I want to touch on this. I want to touch on this one last time. Okay. If you don't see by now, it's a double standard going on as far as Kevin Durant, and when LeBron James was at his peak, then you can't talk no goddamn basketball. You can't talk no basketball and shit with me, because at the end of that game, Kevin Durant, for how well he played, took a very ill-advised shot, which he eventually airballed. You know, like, people want to say he's the best player in the world now, right? But nobody holds him to the standard that they set for LeBron. You understand what I mean? Like, nobody has the same energy. Nobody has the same vitriol. None of that shit. I mean, everybody want to give KD a pass. Oh, he was tired. Oh, he was playing with, the Brooklyn Nets was certain. No, fuck that shit. Brooklyn Nets were a super team, okay? Them people were a super team. That team was a super team. You still had James Harden out there. You had James Harden out there. You understand what I'm saying? No, fuck that shit. I mean, if we you know, like, it don't make no sense how this guy people are giving him a pass, but yet, I'm telling you right now, last year, if the Los Angeles Lakers were in this position, if the Los Angeles Lakers last year were in this position and somehow the Lakers came up short to where Anthony Davis got hurt, right? And LeBron James was in a Game 7 do-or-die situation and he hit an air ball like Kevin Durant, we still be hearing about that shit to this day. We still be hearing about that shit to this day. Hell, we still hear about 2010, 2011, 2014, which I don't think he would have won that series anyway. And 2018, the same scenario. 2018, he gets criticized. 51 points, scoring more points than KD. 3 more points than KD. 51 points, 8 and 7 or some shit like that. But all I heard back then was, oh, the choke, the bum, the 3 and 6 and all that goofy ass shit. But yet, people want to say Kevin Durant is the best player in the world, right? He's the best player in the world, but yet they don't hold him to the same goddamn standards. Not even close. But yeah, everybody want to give Kevin Durant a pass. And mind you, Kevin Durant is a great player. He's a great player, despite what I may think. Some of the way he moves now and the way he carries himself, I'm not particularly a big fan of. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not particularly a big fan of that shit. But yet, I'm not going to sit here and knock his greatness. You know, he had one hell of a game again, but nobody keeps the same goddamn energy for all these cats. Nobody keeps the same energy for Kawhi. Nobody keeps the same energy for Giannis. All I hear is excuses. But when it comes to LeBron James, y'all want to hold him to a certain standard that y'all want to make up. That's narrative-driven and shit. That's narrative-driven bullshit. But yet, everybody out here want to give KD a pass. Oh, he was tired. Oh, he got, he couldn't, he was 1 on 5 on 1. Bullshit. James Harden was out there last time I checked. But last time, for what I'm not mistaken, this is James Harden, the MVP. He's an MVP too. So that means that, that should have been enough. That should have been enough. You're the best player in the world. You got another MVP on your side. You can win that game. But yet, LeBron James plays with George Hill. He plays with J.R. Smith, and he gets criticized. Nobody keeps the same energy, man. You know what I mean? It's all narrative-driven bullshit. And I let you know people's agendas when it comes to this shit, man. People want to say, once again, Kevin Durant is the best player in the world. He's unstoppable. He's unguardable. He's better than what LeBron has ever been. But yet, all I hear is 1,000,001 excuses. That's all I hear. That's all I hear. 1,000,001 excuses, man. 1,000,001 excuses for Kevin Durant. But yet, over criticism for LeBron James. You understand? It's bullshit. You hear it with people in the media. You hear it with these clowns on YouTube, man. Everybody want to give Kevin Durant a pass. But yet, want to hold LeBron James to a ridiculous standard. I mean, if Kevin Durant is going to be the best player in the world, okay, if he's going to hold that title as the best player in the league, why don't you hold him to that same standard? Why don't you hold him accountable to that standard? But nah, we see what people's agenda is about around here. But I've been ranting and raving long enough. All my subscribers know, what time it is with this bullshit. You know what time it is with this, man. I sound like a broken record now, man. Any of my subscribers know what's going on, and understand what's going on. Y'all cats know what I'm talking about, but tell me what y'all think.